Okay, folks, right. Now, a low horizon, a dark tonalist piece here today. And again, just going for the quick lesson and show you that it can be done in half an hour, so hopefully, well, in and around about that. So what I'm going to start with here is the base along here. Now let's get the bottom landscape in. So some raw umber, some cadmium red, bit of heat, a little bit ultramarine blue, and some phthalo green. Okay, a little bit of mineral spirits there, just to loosen this up a bit. And let me see, low horizon. So let's bring this, I'd say about here-ish. Lovely. Now, get that. Just dancing that about. There we go. Now, get lots of different tones and colours in here. At the start, dance that about. Look at that. Don't be afraid of it. Little bit of spirits just to loosen things out a little bit. Up at a bum. Along the bottom here. Getting the canvas covered. Good start. Right. Now that's that. So that's just going to allow for a small free thing going on here. Alright. Off in the distance a little bit. Okay. A little bit of a hedgerow, maybe I already have it in, but just rough that up a little bit. Now, I'm going to remove a little bit here at the front. Sorry for the rustling. Hi folks, just a wee quick announcement. I've started one of those new member thingy-majigs, and I would really appreciate your support. It helps the channel and it helps me. Just click the wee join button below the video. It's only a couple of quid a month. Anyway, thanks folks, it's very much appreciated. And now let's get back to it. Alright, now so far you can see it. Okay. There we go. Right. Let's create a little bit of a road leading to it, a little bit of water. Right. Because I haven't toned this canvas, it's soaking the hell out of this soda. This is drying very quickly. So I'm going to use a cloth here to remove some of this. It's better in doing so. Alright. Okay. Alright, now a little bit of oxide red here. A little bit of yellow. A lot of white. A little bit more oxide red. A little bit of cadmium red. Okay, some cadmium red. I'm just trying to. Little bit of raw umber. Really knocks the saturation out of it a little bit. Let me see. That's not bad. It's not too bad now. A little bit redder, I think. Over here, just. Yeah, a little bit white. Just light, not a touching. Some of that liquid fine detail on it. Now, let's just place this about. Getting an idea of where you want things. Very nice, very nice, very, very nice. Now, all I'm going to do here is kind of add a little bit of yellow to it and a little bit of white to the existing color, or not a little bit, a lot to the existing color, and just bring it up into the sky a bit. And a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And now I want it desaturated a little bit, so I'm going to use some raw umber to do so. Look at that. Colouring that in rightly, isn't it? Look at that. That's nice. Now as I'm coming down, I wanted just that little bit of a gradient beginning, just in here. Okay, a little bit more, just for the base along here. Let me see, take a bit of a step back. I think I'll continue to tone my canvases. I don't like it when they're not toned. And it was just laziness on my part today. Is all it was. Bum. There we go. Another thing about toning the canvas, whenever you have a loose canvas like this, as in it's not the smoothest of canvases, you really have to work the brush and the paint into it in order to fill it completely, so there's not white patches around. So a lesson learned, I think, or I hope. Whether I'll do it again is another thing, but we'll see. We'll see. Now, some raw umber. No, I have a. Excuse me, folks. I have a alarm going, but back in a sec. Alrighty. So now, where was I? Before we were so rudely interrupted. Yes. Let's get this in here. So a little bit of ultramarine blue as well. A little bit of white here, just to lift it a touch. Some liquid, and I think along here, nice and a bit brighter, maybe a bit brighter. That's a bit better. I want you to barely see the transition between the hedgerow and the sky, but I still want you to see it nonetheless. And it was a bit of a dark, too dark there for me for the moment. Now, okay. And just patches, folks. I'm not trying to completely have everything the same color. Okay, a bit brighter. Now, this is where the idea of creating a cloudy texture comes in. So a little bit of white here, spreading out the brush, and just softening it here and there, up into this area here. Now there's still, for me, there's still a bit too much on the brush, so I'm going to wipe it off here and use the residual stuff that's left on the brush. I'm obviously, which means I'm not wiping it all off. I'm just using what's left on the brush to create a softer edge up in and around here. See, like so. All right. Just working that in, folks. And the same on this side now. There's plenty of paint there, so I'm just going to work this in. Yeah, a little bit more maybe needed, just a bit. I'm not happy with the way the paint is reacting with this. At the minute, it's a bit too harsh. So it is. So, let's do something different then. I'm looking for a, I know, looking for a soft fan brush here. That's better. Bit rougher. Even though it's a soft brush, it's still a roughish brush. And allows you for a bit of a better blending notion. That's better, yes. Happier with that. Yes, indeed happier with that actually. I'm just going to bring this up a touch here. So I'm left with a bit of an arch coming down here. Down along here. And then I will go back to this here and just paint this in a bit better. There we go. Nice. Nice. That should help work it in a touch. And then let's just blend this in too. Right now I want to soften that, so give me, before it completely dries up, I'm really not happy with the way the paint is reacting on this, so as I say, I will in future tone my canvases first. The first time in a long time that I have done this without toning the canvas. Maybe that's why I done it years ago. Maybe that's why I decided to do it years ago. I wasn't happy with the way it behaved. Well, there's a lesson learned, eh, folks? It is. A lesson for both of us this time. And look at that, though. Still nice, creating nice some nice textures being created here. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-bum. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-bum. I think it's all that's happened, folks, to be honest, is that the canvas has just sucked it up. That's all that's happened. Alright, let's grey this out a little bit. I want to make a bit of a path here. And a grey path leading to some water. Flatten that brush out a little touch. Now I've got a flat edge. Put the flat edge down like so. And just create the idea of a path. Very nice. See that? Look. There now. Okay, now let's create the idea of a little bit of water. Now this is breaking up over here. And I will reflect the sky in it so it'll look a bit more like water. There we go. Okay. Let's brighten it up a little bit here and there. So I think what I'll do actually, you know what? I think I'll put a little bit of a sun, a very small setting sun just down in the corner here. Like way off in the distance. And it's going to be very, very bright. Okay. I'm just removing some of the paint with a cotton bud. Okay, I went and messed it up. But hey ho. You can't mess up a painting. All you can do is just stop painting. And that'll mess it up for you, because you haven't given yourself the opportunity to fix it. Alright, so let me see here. A bright one. A bright yellow. And then I'll be able to reflect it in the sky here. So let me see. Trying not to get my big face in here, but alright, now it's not what you would call a proper circle. Well, I do want it to be a kind of the bottom part of it, the bottom quarter of it there to be. Alright, okay, not the worst. Not the worst. Now let me see now. It's coming down here. And go there. And a little bit here too. Alright. Let's just knock that back a touch. Okay. That's not bad for 20 odd minutes, sure it's not. And of course, like everything, if you're not happy with it, you wipe it off. That's a bit better. And I think maybe just a few things here and there yet to do. Alright. I'm going to put a little bit of a brighter spot in the sky. Just about up here. A bit brighter still. Let's work that in a touch. And I think once this becomes varnished, that those colors will really properly pop. So they will. All right, folks. I think that I might be calling that a day. But first, I just want to put a little bit more in the water, I think. A bit more light there. Is it? No, that's not properly there yet. All right. And just having a wee look at the tree. Right, that'll do it, folks. Just a very quick one. The idea of, before I go, I'll just soften the edges of this here. This is a rough brush. It used to be a blender, and it's now become quite rough. And that's great for really scraping the hell out of things. So it is. Alright, that'll do. Right, folks. I've started up one of those wee membership things, and if you wouldn't mind, if you want, become a member type thing. So, all the best, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.